Let's get to the rundown. Speaking of the state of Florida, they did something today that other states have done, but the Florida High School Athletic Association, the FHSAA, of which I played my high school athletics there, they have approved NIL deals for high school athletes. Now, a lot of states have done this in that there's really no way that they can, really stop it. What makes this interesting, though, Josh, is Florida has the most permissive high school transfer rules in the country. All the states around them have NIL, the Alabama and Georgia and all that for their high school players. I believe in Louisiana has it now. Mississippi probably has it. So they all have that. And this is really only going to affect about 100 players in the state of Florida, genuinely. But with the fact that you can transfer and play right away in Florida, which you can't do in a lot of states, especially not Texas where we are, where I am, you're in Arkansas. But this is kind of a big deal and could kind of create more friction in a state whose high school athletics is as roughshod and kind of hectic and crazy, and they have really stupid ideas on how to do the playoffs already. And now here they are. They're going to have like widespread kids trying to transfer and get money when there's probably not a whole lot of money for them to get.
So, because I know in Missouri, like in Arkansas, that they have these rules where you have to sign with a Missouri school and then you can start receiving NIL, things of that nature. Are there specifics about, are they just paying kids in high school now? Like, does this exclude college? Does this have to do with signing a national letter of intent, or is this high school? We're paying kids to be, for their name, image, and likeness.
Yeah. I mean, they're paying high school kids for name, image, and likeness. So wow. You can, if
IMG, already going to keep loading up.
Yeah. Which, IMG has two programs. There's the kids who pay full price for IMG, and then there's the kids who IMG wants. And they play on two different teams. And essentially, if you think your kid can make it to Alabama, but you're just a deluded rich parent, you are paying for a guy like Kellen Mond to go to IMG. So, because that's kind of how it works. But yeah, IMG is going to go nuts. But look, I'll tell you, St. Thomas Aquinas over in Fort Lauderdale already is one of the best programs in the state. And because they're a Catholic school, they can recruit anyway.
Right.
This is going to, I think it's going to actually create a problem for them, because they'll have a flood of people going like, well, I can come here now. How much money are you going to give me, rich guys? And like, whoa. Like, we're a high school. Like, yes, we're a wealthy high school, but let's not get it twisted here. But there are going to be some things. And because of the very permissive transfer rules that Florida has now, I just think this is going to be chaos. And it's going to be things that coaches can't deal with in a lot of sports. In basketball, baseball is really big in Florida, and club, like, you're going to be able to essentially, like, you're going to have coaches directing entire club teams to a high school, which already is kind of happening. But now, if I'm on a club team and, my shortstop lives over the line, but he couldn't play with us and he's the best player. Well, now, not only that, I can pay him to come there. This to me is absolute unleashed chaos. And I'm for anybody making money however they can. But you have to balance it out with some sort of structure on the rules. And I used to be a person, and Garrett can tell you this, I was the guy who was like, I don't think there should be any reason why anybody should tell me why I can't go to a school. And like, part of me still believes that, but part of me also knows that like sometimes you have to sacrifice things for the greater good, because otherwise it's absolute chaos when it comes to high school. Because especially now, there's a lot of parents who have no grip on the reality of the situation when it comes to sports. They just want to point their kid in whatever direction they think is going to be like the most attention and may not be the best for them. And then you have, I think that's bad. So I think sometimes you have to sacrifice things. Like, I don't think you should be able to tell me where to transfer. Well, yeah, but if you don't, the problem is it's not going to be people like me who would never really abuse that rule. I would think I'm going to think that out before I even get to a high school and live in a place where the high school is good, as opposed to the people who will abuse this ridiculously and ruin it for everybody else. So
there's two issues. Number one, there is the transfer thing is going to basically stand across the line, right? Because the issue with transfer thing is it's about contract, right? Mm-hmm. These are not employees. They are not under contract.
They're high school kids.
You cannot they're high school kids, right? Which is the other part of this, but you can't enforce non-competes on people who are not employees. That's why unlimited transfers is happening. It's why any challenge in court is probably not going to go very well. So there's that aspect of it. The NIL part, I think we forget like what NIL stands for, name, image, and likeness. So on its surface, I think about this all the time. Like, was anybody upset when Justin Bieber was making a ton of money off of t-shirts and things like that? They print his face on it when he was 13 or 14 or whatever. Yeah. Right. So like from that standpoint, I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. It's his name. It's his image. It's his likeness. Kind of the same thing stands for athletes. Like the idea of it is great. We all know that that's not really how it applies I feel honestly, like I don't have a good answer about a lot of this stuff because I feel conflicted about it. Right. Because the way it works in college is like, we're not actually doing that. But at the same time, it's pretty capitalist to say, hey, aren't you worth what somebody will pay you? Right. If Booster X will pay you this much money, and look, yeah, you're doing advertisements for them, whatever, you're going to their restaurant or doing meet and greet, whatever, but really like it's their fandom plus their desired happiness that they're not looking for return on investment a lot of the time. Right. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, the return on investment's going to be low. Yeah, it is. But like, these people don't care about that. This is about like their happiness and their fandom. So all of these things mix. I think where I draw the line though, Paul, is in high school where it's okay. Who am I to say when a kid can't start making a living or earning money off his name, image, and likeness? But also too, is there a way we could be like, all right, any money that you earn before the age of 18 must go into a fund that you can have access to once you are no longer a minor. And I don't know what the age, whatever, consider a minor in Florida, every state's different, but maybe that's the way you do it because, hey, at 18, that's when you can start making your own decisions. I think you make a good point here. And think about, especially football, like there's a lot of talent comes from, not great places. And those aren't always most stable homes where a bunch of people are directing them in the right direction. So allowing that money not to be touched until a kid is at 18, able to make their own decisions legally in some ways, I think might be the right way to do that if I were to have any kind of actual idea. But once again, it's a pretty complicated issue.
Yeah, I just think, and I also think that just knowing the FHSAA like I do, this is just asking for chaos. That, like, just to let you know, a couple years ago, Garrett, I think we were still working together when this happened. We were all, but we were at the back of the radio station, but we talked about it. Florida, the FHSAA decided to determine their playoffs through
max preps,
through rankings on max preps. Yeah. Like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? And then schedules got out.
If you're gonna call a high school football game, max preps is like the least reliable thing.
Yeah, ever. Yeah. If you're like, okay, I need to know who. Midway's playing Georgetown. It's a non-district game. Yeah. I need to find out who Georgetown has played. Let me go. What's Georgetown's schedule? Well, max preps, because of the search, will always come up before their actual high school page. And look, most of the time, Josh, you know this, the high school page is there's two kinds of high school athletics pages. Unbelievable, great, like Amazon.com good, or nothing. Like nothing, barely
November,
there.
The score has not been updated since September 1st.
Yeah, exactly. Or ever. Like, they like, yes, well, here's the picture of the coach. That's it. Like, that's the picture you get of him doing something. That's all you get. So you go to max pressure, like, all right, well, what was the score of that game last week? And then this nothing. And it's just, or it's wrong. It's some kind of weird number, like 83-9. You're like, well, I know it wasn't that. It might have been a blowout, but it certainly wasn't 83-9. I don't know who called that in. So yeah, not the most reliable thing in the world. All right, moving on. This was brought up